When you think about the world of enterprise technology, you're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And behind every single massive deal, every mind-bendingly complex system, there's a critical person working kind of in the shadows. This is the story of the translator, the architect, and the strategist all rolled into one. And it's probably the most important tech job you've never heard of. Okay, let's pull back the curtain on this.
It all kicks off with what sounds like a simple question. Imagine a hospital that needs a whole new system for managing patients, or a huge bank that wants to upgrade its entire data center. How do they actually go from having a problem to finding the perfect multi-million-dollar solution? Well, it's not like they're just scrolling through a catalog and clicking Add to Cart. It's way, way more complicated. And that complexity, well, it creates a huge problem.
And this is it, right here, the great communication gap. See, on one side, you've got the sales team. They speak the language of business. We're talking goals, relationships, revenue targets, the big picture stuff. Then, way over on the other side, you have the engineering team. They live and breathe technical specs, infrastructure, and code. Both sides are brilliant, absolutely essential, but it's like they're speaking two completely different languages. So, who's supposed to translate?
And that's where our hero comes in. They have a bunch of different names: solutions architect, sales engineer, or the one we're going to focus on, the pre-sales engineer. Their entire job, their whole reason for existing, is to be the bridge that connects the world of business problems to the world of technical solutions. And believe me, if they get that bridge wrong, we're talking millions of dollars wasted and a project that's basically dead on arrival.
So what is a pre-sales engineer, really? Well, the best way to think of them is as this crucial link. They're not a typical salesperson, and they're not the person who actually implements the system at the end. No, they are a trusted technical consultant. Their job isn't to push a product on you, it's to understand your problem so deeply that they can design the perfect answer from the ground up.
Their whole mission really boils down to 3 key phases. First, they have to truly understand the client's needs. I mean, the real, deep-down business challenges. Second, they become an architect, designing a custom technical solution from scratch. And third, they have to propose the value, which means translating that complex technical design back into the language of business. So let's dig into that first phase, understanding the client's needs.
This first part of the job is all about discovery. It's kind of like being a detective. The pre-sales engineer has to gather clues from everywhere, from conversations, from technical documents, even from physically visiting the site, all to build a complete picture of the puzzle they need to solve.
A lot of times, the starting gun for this whole process is a document called an RFP, or a request for proposal. This is basically the client's official cry for help. It's a super detailed breakdown of exactly what they need, the rules of the game, and the criteria they'll use to judge the winner. A pre-sales engineer has to dissect this thing, finding every single mandatory requirement and every hidden challenge.
Now, what's so cool here is how you can see this transformation process. The pre-sales engineer takes in all these raw inputs, the formal RFP, notes from all the customer meetings, data from a site survey, and they basically metabolize all of it into concrete, actionable outputs. We're talking a high-level design, a detailed technical proposal, and a financial breakdown of every single component.
So with that blueprint in hand, it's finally time to build. This is where the architect part of the title really shines. They have to pick just the right technologies from hundreds, maybe thousands of options to build one single system that works perfectly. And we can think about this process as building in layers, starting right from the foundation.
So every modern solution is built on a network, right? That's layer 1, the foundation. Think of it as the digital plumbing for the entire system. This is everything from the physical cables and patch panels to the smart stuff, like switches for internal traffic, routers to connect to the outside world, and of course, firewalls to keep the whole thing secure.
Okay, on top of that network foundation, we add the hardware engine. This is the real muscle of the operation, the machinery that does all the heavy lifting, the computing and data storage. We're talking about powerful servers, massive storage arrays, and really critical support systems like an uninterruptible power supply, or UPS, which is basically a giant backup battery that keeps everything running if the power goes out.
And finally, we get to the very top layer, the brains of the whole operation, the software. And this isn't just one thing, it's a whole new set of layers. It starts with the operating systems, like Windows or Linux. Then you add the crucial infrastructure apps, like Active Directory, to manage who can log in. And finally, you have the business applications themselves, the programs people actually use every day, like an ERP system or a CRM.
So, the solution is designed. All the pieces are picked out.
You'd think the job's almost done, right? Not even close. Now comes maybe the most critical part of all, communicating all that complexity in a simple, compelling way. This is where the pre-sales engineer has to stop being a pure architect and become a master communicator, turning a technical design into a winning business case.
You know, a great proposal is a masterclass in communication because it's tailored for so many different people. It starts with an executive summary for the CEO, giving them the bottom line in just a couple of pages. Then there's a section that proves you totally get their requirements, which builds a ton of trust. You'll have detailed diagrams for the technical team, a bill of materials, which is basically a huge shopping list for the procurement team, and a compliance matrix that proves line by line that you've met every single one of their needs.
And at the end of the day, this shows you exactly how the final decision gets made. Yeah, the client is going to score the technical solution, of course. They're also going to score the financial proposal, the price. But then there's that third crucial bar, vendor preference. Do they trust you? Do they believe in your team? The best tech in the world won't win if the price is wrong or if that trust just isn't there.
So here's the crucial point. After sifting through hundreds of products, thousands of specifications, and sitting through countless meetings, the entire goal of the pre-sales engineer is to deliver one thing. Just one. A single, integrated, seamless solution that simply works and solves the client's problem. That's it.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's never about having the fastest server or the fanciest software all by itself. It's about crafting the best overall answer to a specific business problem. That is the art and the science of being a solutions architect.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, right? In an industry that is always celebrating the people who write the code and the people who close the big deals, maybe, just maybe, we've been overlooking the most powerful role of all, the person who can stand right in the middle, understand both sides, and translate incredible complexity into absolute clarity.